everyone. Today I am going to show you a very interesting flow of relighting using normal pass. Okay, so here first of all I will show you my gizmo, and that is and shader. Okay, through this gizmo you have to just define first normal world, then through equator angle you can change your light as well as using polar height. Even you can change the color of light, and even you can directly compose that light on your original footage like this. Okay, so today's session is how I create this gizmo. So before we start the flow of this gizmo, I just show you some maths and some concept behind normal pass. Okay, that will help you to design this gizmo. Okay, so let's start a small presentation on normal. Okay, so question is, what is normal? Okay, so mainly one who used 3D application and especially modeling, they know what is normal. So here I show my view. So normal, the normal vector, oftenly called normal to a surface, is a vector which is perpendicular to the surface at a given point. Okay, so this is the simple definition of normal. But the question is that when we rendered normal pass, we say a color. Okay, so different color. So how that color applied? So basically how any 3D application calculate this normal. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so here is my 3D coordinate. Now if my direction of normal towards x, then this normal stored 1 0 0. If it is represent or it the direction of normal is in y, then 0 1 0. Same way in z, 0 0 1. So if any normal direction toward minus x, so that represent in minus 1 0 0. Same way minus y, 0 minus 1 0, and minus z, 0 0 minus 1. So this is the simple concept of calculation of normal. Now this is okay for any cubical surface. Okay, so maybe this normal direction is toward x, this y, maybe this is towards z minus z. Okay, but what about this kind of surface which is not basically cubical? So how this information stored? Okay, so first of all the question is that which shape has every possible direction of normal? The answer is very simple, that is sphere, because sphere has every possible direction of normals. Okay, so how this colored or this information of normal stored on this sphere? Okay, so this is a simple definition: normal on spherical surface. So if your shape is a unit sphere means its coordinate, its origin is on 0 0 0 and its radius is 1 1 1. So if your shape is a unit sphere, then the surface normal of any point x y z on the unit sphere is just x y z. Okay, so now the question is how we find the point or a point on a spherical surface. So here we assume that this is my sphere, and I want to find a particular point on a sphere. So this is my azimuth and this is my altitude. So through these two value we can find the position of this point on sphere surface. So here we consider that altitude is my rotation x and azimuth is my rotation y. So this is the simple mathematical of trigonometry, that x is equal to of this particular point is origin x plus radius of this sphere into cos rotation y into cos rotation x, and y of this point is equal to origin y plus radius into sine rotation x, and z is equal to origin z plus radius into sine rotation y into cos rotation x. Okay, you can find so many calculation of uh, this point on particular point on your spherical surface, and Google you can just type. I also do this the same thing. I'm not calculate everything on my way, but I understand that trigonometry can find this solution. Okay, now in my condition my origin is 0 0 0 because this is my unit sphere and the radius is 1. So my x is cos rotation y into cos rotation x, and y is equal to sine rotation x, and z is equal to sine rotation y into cos rotation x. So this calculation we can use, and it is very important calculation that we can use to create that n shader gizmo. Okay, so now we move on to Nuke and we will start how I create that gizmo. So here I have one EXR file which I rendered in Maya, and which has normal world pass. Okay, so let's we start our flow. So first of all I am using shuffle to extract my normal pass. So here I just press tab and write shuffle. Okay, and I just define this normal. So here I got my normal pass, and here I have this is my front camera and this is my back camera. I just merged two image in a single image. Now so I want to find a particular normal value using azimuth and altitude. Okay, so here I create one constant. So I just press tab and write constant. Okay, and here I need two rotation, and that is y rotation and x rotation. Y rotation is my azimuth and x rotation is my altitude. So here I just give the y rotation is equator angle and x rotation is my polar height, but in constant I only get this color information, this format and frame and all these things, but I do not get any rotation and all this stuff. So Nuke provide me some good stuff over here. I just right click on this tab and here I click manage user knob. Okay, and I add floating point. Okay, and I give the name of this is equator angle and label it to properly equator angle, and I just give the range to 0 to 360, and I just press OK. So here I just get one new tab, that is user. Now I add one more floating slider, and that is for my polar height, and that is my X rotation. So here I just write polar height, and I just give it to -90 to +90. Okay, and I also pick, because this I have to add, because this property is not available default in this constant. So I have to now pick my default value, and that is my color. Okay, done. So I have to apply some expression and find the normal value at particular equator angle and polar height. Okay, so I just click over here. So I got 4 colors. I just put one in my alpha, and just over here I click and edit expression. So now as my presentation, my R, and that is my X position, is cos into polar height. Okay, and that is Y rotation. So I have to write cos, and this is in degree format, and as almost everybody know that Nuke default expression did not work on degree, so we have to convert that degree into radians. So I have to write radians and polar height into cos into radians into radians equator angle, bracket over. Now for my Y, that is sine radians polar height, and my Z is sine. So basically I just copy this thing, Control C, Control V, and I have to just change over here. That is my sine equator angle and cos polar height, and that is my 1. So now if I change my equator angle and polar height, I got some different value according to that. So basically on this particular equator angle and polar height, my X, Y, Z of that particular unit sphere is this. Okay, and this will help me a lot. Okay, so I have this constant and this is my normal. Now I have to apply one node, that is difference gear. And I just difference between this thing. So I just check my alpha, and that is this. Okay, so we get some value in alpha like this. So to extract my alpha from here, I just put one another node, and that is shuffle. Okay, and I just alpha alpha alpha, and here I put black in my default alpha. Okay, so because I want to invert this thing, okay, so here we got a proper white alpha because I invert all the channels. Now you see, if I go to constant and I change equator angle, you get some good light. Okay, now I just merge my beauty bars and my light, and I just use operator plus. But now you see here we got some little burnout on this area. So to reduce that thing, I just add one grade node, and on grade node I change the value white point to 2, and you see, even using this multiply, you can change the color of your light. Okay, so now I want to create gizmo of this workflow. So I have to add something, modify some content of this flow. So first of all, I click over here, like this. I select all this node that represent my flow, and I just click Ctrl G. One following node use group output, so that is my merge 1, and I click OK. So now this is my group. So I have to go to my group, but before that I change my project setting. For example, my project is HD 1080. Okay, and that is effect on my output, you see. So we will solve that problem. If maybe it may possible that my image size is different and my project setting is different, so how we deal with this kind of problem? So I have to go to in this group. So to edit in this particular group, I just select this group and I press Ctrl Enter. Okay, so first of all I solve that resizing problem. So for that, here I add one node, and that is crop. And here I add some expression, edit expression, and this is my input 1. So I have to set my input 1, dot width and input 1 dot height, and I just click reformat. So now you see, whatever my image this canvas convert automatically into this image. So that will help me a lot. Now another thing is I just go to grade node and again I reset this thing. Now at particular time I want only light, as you see in my gizmo. So I have to first change my A and B. Okay, so to change my A and B I just press Shift X. Okay, now if I go to node and I just disable this thing, so here I just got the light of my gizmo, and if I activate this thing I compose that particular my relight thing with my beauty pass. So activate and deactivate this disable node of MER1, but for that you have to change your background and foreground position. Okay, so this change I have to do in my that group. Now I again go to node graph. I have to create some controller on this group. So I just right click over here, manage user node, and pick. And first I go to my shuffle one and I just put in one. Okay, so here I have to change, so I edit these things and here I define normal vector and I label it as normal vector. So because you have to define here normal vector. Now second thing is your equator angle and polar height, and this is property of your constant, and in constant you have user knob, and here you got this equator angle and polar height. So I just click OK. Another control you want is the color of your light. So I just go to pick, and that I have to find in grade 1. Here in grade, this multiply. Okay, and I edit the name of this is color of light, or like this. And the last thing is that merge one disable control. So for that I go to merge one node and this disable, and here I added this name as light, or say only light. Done. So if I activate this thing, I got only light. Through this value we can change our light. Okay, and through this color of light we can change the light of our color. So that's how we manage this gizmo. Now I just normalize this thing. For example, here I put 180 degree, here I put 30 degree, only light activated. Now I Again I reset this value. Now I go to node and just export as gizmo. I click over here and I save this as, for example, nshader.gizmo in any your local drive. Now what I have to do, just copy that particular gizmo and go to program file, Nuke, plugin manager, and paste over here. So this is the simplest way. Now if you go now what I have to do, just go all plugin and update your plugin, and you just need to tab and call your gizmo and relighting your scene using normal pass. So this is the way we can create our relighting and create our gizmo using just simple normal vector pass. Okay, so there are many ways to relighting your scene, but this is the simplest and compact flow in Nuke. Okay, so hope you like this tutorial, and you can download this gizmo as well as project file, the link which I given in description. So enjoy your day. See you soon.